What is going on, everybody? Leo here with the Cohen Group Northwest, and wanted to record a video a little bit more about big picture people in real estate win big. So, not to be cliche or give you a gimmicky kind of title to this video, but it's something that I've been thinking a lot about with my own real estate investments, helping a lot of people buy and sell real estate over the last 10 years. And just really analyzing each market, what the positives and negatives, the variables are for each market that are good and bad, and how to navigate that to be successful in real estate. A lot of people talk about timing the market. We just did a video on the dispatches from the front on there's no perfect timing to the market. There's just the different variables for each market and understanding those. So a couple of things here. Wanted to give some context on that. Big picture people that look at the big picture, which is what we have right in front of us here, which is a graphic of median sales price in Bellingham, Whatcom County over the last, since 2006. Can you tell I didn't know how to do math on that? I couldn't do quick math on that. Anyways, so what I want to show you is that the trend, if you go from month to month, data is really interesting. When you go month to month or day to day, the graph is going to be like this, right? But what I want you all to look at is the overall trajectory of this graph. And if any of you were, well, most of us were around in 2008, but many of us were not necessarily homeowners at that time, and there are many were homeowners at that time or are still homeowners, and they had weathered that time. Now, I want to just show you something. This is the Great Recession. This is one of the biggest economic challenges in the real estate world that we've seen, obviously, in our recent years. Starts in 2008, 2009, really starts to leak into 2010. It's really at its peak, well, bottom, upside down peak at 2012, and then starts to rebound. So over the course of those 5 years, we lost about 30% in equity or values in Whatcom County. It's more insulated than other places around the country, so this graph is really hyper-local to our region, but this is pretty similar in a lot of places in Washington State, on the coasts and Pacific Northwest. But this is specific to Whatcom County. We're insulated. We're a very insulated market, which is also another reason that it's a good place to invest. And I wanted to show you it's about 30% loss, and then about, I would say, close to 200% gain over the course of 2013 as we start to climb, even till now. So, why is this important? Because the big picture is the most important thing to look at. Obviously, you can't go back in time and buy, which would have been great to do in 2011 with a bunch of cash and then hold a property till now. But what I want to show you is I want to show you the trend. People that expect to have the type of equity that they had over 2 or 3 years during the COVID market, that's not going to happen. But there is still a big picture, and the people that are paying their mortgage every single month, or there's a renter that's paying your mortgage every single month, there is a big picture win, and most of you see it, but some people get stuck on this, or I get a lot of questions asked about what's the perfect timing of the market. And maybe people don't say what's the perfect timing, but what's the best way to time the market? And there's this kind of middle point, and it's all about what your needs are, right? But ultimately, it's never going to be comfortable. There's not going to be one point, unless you have a bundle of cash, where it's going to be comfortable. Right? And so what I want to encourage everyone to do is look at the big picture. What is the payment that I could afford right now? How much cash on hand do I have? How much can I save every single month? And how does that impact me to not be paying my mortgage every single month versus renting? How much cash am I burning by renting? And if you look at a real estate investment over the course of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you can start to see that over a couple years, it's really not that big of a deal. In fact, even if you bought in 2006, 2007 and weathered through this market, you only lost 30%, right? Which, let's say for a $100,000 house, that's 30 grand. So about 90 grand on the average price point. You lost $90,000 in equity, but your payment never changed. So the people that freaked out, sold their properties, they absolutely screwed the pooch on that. So the big thing to do is to focus on the big picture. Let's look at the graph from the perspective of 4 or 5 years plus, 10 years even better. And I wanted to utilize the example of the first house that my wife and I bought. And we bought it high interest rate. Prices were lower in 2016. I think it was at $230. It's a townhome, nothing special. And we held the property for 5 years. After 2 years, because of the way the market was, we were able to remove private mortgage insurance. So if you have above 20% equity in your house, I think we'd put 5.5% down, and by the time 2 years had come around, we were able to remove that, which reduced our monthly payment. And then within that same year, rates went down, and this is not crazy amount. This is not like 7 to 4%. We're talking about like 5 to 3.75%. It was enough to make a difference, and we dropped our payment even more. So all of a sudden, we bought at a good time, equity-wise, and we were able to refinance, and we were able to remove PMI, and before we sold the house, we were able to do a HELOC on it to pay off credit card debt and consolidate, and we still had enough to put 22% down on the next house we bought. And we bought that house during the COVID market, 10% above asking price, and great rate, expensive house. Anyways, I think the whole point is knowing the market, knowing the data, and looking at a big picture. If you look at a big picture, you'll always win, right? And don't freak out when things change or when the market slows or when, just keep the payment where you can afford it, and also jump on those opportunities to refinance, but know that they don't happen immediately. So if that was helpful, I hope it was. I'd love your feedback. And there's tons of resources out there, but one of the places that we put a lot of this bite-sized content is on our Instagram page at Cohen Group NW. So that's just our Cohen Group NW Instagram page. On our YouTube page, our YouTube profile, we do a lot of videos. You'll find these on my LinkedIn. And of course, if there's any content that you'd like to hear from me, I would love to provide that content for you. And hopefully this was super helpful. And if you have any questions, there's no dumb questions. You can reach out to me via text or call at 360-820-3434. Happy to meet for a beer, coffee, lunch, walk, whatever it is, and answer questions about the market and get you prepared to be successful in any real estate market, whether you already own a home or you're renting and you want to buy a home. There is a path always. You just have to get uncomfortable. So thanks for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.